Hey guys, what's up? It's Dusty here, back with another crypto video, and today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP. Now, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I have a lot of articles open on the top here. I have a lot of different topics to talk about, and I think I also have a lot of news to bring to you guys. Before we get into this video, I will tell you guys from now on, every single video, if we hit 400 likes within 24 hours, we're giving away $200 worth of XRP, right? We might split this over one person, over 3, over 5, over 10, so it doesn't really matter to me, whatever you guys want, but make sure you go ahead and press the like button on this video right now, comment something down below, and make sure you have the notification bell on. If you do that, every video, you're automatically entered into the giveaway. You don't have to do anything else. And for people asking, why are there not that many giveaways? You know, when is it? We only give it away once we hit the amount of likes that I request, right? This is just so it is a reward to you guys, so you also have to do something to earn it. Otherwise, it would be just giving money away every single 3 times a day. It's too much, you know? But sometimes we can do it if you guys really enjoyed the video. So today, we're going to be talking about Ripple XRP, as I said. This article here is actually about a lot of different crypto and about what happened in the general crypto market. In these types of articles on Cointelegraph, you most of the time have a very good idea of what's been going on in the crypto space because it gives you a little bit of backstory to crypto, then every coin specifically, but mostly just analysis. But here, in this case, the beginning of this article is always quite good. So let's quickly read through that. Manuel Anders, senior FX analyst at Bayerische Landesbank, has published a report which suggests that the forthcoming halving effect has hardly been priced into the current Bitcoin price. Using a stock-to-flow ratio metric, which is something we've seen a lot in the recent price analysis videos for Bitcoin, the report projects a target price of $90,000 for Bitcoin in 2020. And this is actually quite conservative in terms of what we've seen from a lot of different analysts. We've seen a $250,000 and a $1 million price tag at the end of 2020 from a lot of other analysts. And though there were great expectations for the launch of Backed, it turned out to be a dud. A new report by Binance Research suggests that the disappointing trading volume on Backed might have triggered the recent fall in Bitcoin. The CME, which stands for the Chicago Mercantile Exchange Group, has said that they do not have any plans to launch a Bitcoin-settled futures contract, and the CME said that the number one demand of their customers was options on futures, which the group plans to introduce in the first quarter of 2020, pending regulatory approvals. In another sign that markets are maturing, global crypto wash trading declined by over 35% in September, according to the last surveillance report from Blockchain Transparency Institute. After the recent fall, major cryptocurrencies are trying to form a bottom. Do we find any buying opportunities? Let us find out. And then first they talk about Bitcoin's analysis here, which is definitely quite important, so I want to quickly take a little look at that. The pullback in Bitcoin hit a wall just above 8,500 on October 1st, and this is a bearish sign because it shows a lack of buyers at higher levels. We're expecting the pullback to at least reach the breakdown level at 9,080, and the bears will now try to sink the price back to the recent low of 7,702. If this support breaks, a decline to the 73.37 to 74.50 zone is likely. Both moving averages are sloping down, and the RSI is in oversold territory, which indicates that the bears have the upper hand. The next dip towards the recent lows of 7,700 will give us a better insight on whether this is a great buying opportunity or will the prices fall further. If a strong bounce from the recent lows, breakout of $8,500, the possibility of a rally to 9,000 increases, and this period of uncertainty is unlikely to continue for long as we anticipate a sharp move in either direction within the next couple of days. So to recap that, 7,700, we break below that, we're most likely going to see some $7,300, $7,400 action. If we break above 8,500, we're going to be seeing some 9,080 action, hopefully. At least we're going to be pointing towards those directions, those numbers. It is still a couple of days here before we most likely decide what it is going to be. As you can see right here, we're undecided, right? We're not really moving any direction too much. We're just minus 0.5% on a daily and even only minus 2% on a weekly on Bitcoin. So definitely some indecision going on there. They're indecisive. For XRP though, as that is what most of you guys came here for, and if you would like to see some different coin analysis or me talk about different coins, make sure you comment it down below so I know, alright? It's definitely harder than you might expect to know exactly what coins to cover when, because you of course want to look out for the best interest of most of your viewers, and most of the people just request XRP, so that is what I mostly look at, but I always have to put in some BTC because they are correlating or yeah, they correlate with each other, and sometimes I have to put in some other breaking news type of coins, as I always like to do. But you guys let me know in the comments down below, and make sure you press the like button right now if you learned something new, or if you think you enjoy it or enjoy the work. I don't know. XRP could not break out of the moving averages, which shows that sellers are active at higher levels. It has turned down and is near the critical level of 24,508, and if bears sink the price below this level, a dip to 22 cents is possible. Below this, the next support is 19 cents. So they say 24.5. We're actually just above that, and I don't know for how long we have been above that. We can check it out. 25, what did they say? 24.5.08. 24.5.08. So we're actually still above that. The whole 24 hours we have been above that. On a weekly, okay, no, we were definitely below that on Monday. And this article was actually built yesterday. So on, what day is it today? Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. So this article is built on Wednesday. All right, so yeah, I guess it just says what it says, right? 22 cents is possible if we break below 24,508 once more, and then the next support is at 19 cents, so we're going to be seeing that as the next big target. Nonetheless, if bulls defend the support at 24,508, which they are most likely doing right now, there will be one more attempt to push the price above the resistance of the 50-day SMA and 27,795. So that's about 28 cents right around that corner. The breakout of this zone will indicate that the recent breakdown to a new 25-week low, which is a year of course, was a bear trap, and traders can wait for the XP to USD pair to close UTC time above 27,795 to buy. The stop loss can be kept at 21.5 cents, and the first target on the upside is 34,229, and above it at 40 cents. Moving over into some really good news, as we've now covered some price analysis. Ripple's XPring launches crypto fiat payments that integrate into any app. So Ripple XPring is launching a platform, it says, makes it possible for developers to integrate fiat and cryptocurrency payments into any application. These suite of services includes an XPring Software Development Kit, SDK, that allows programmers to integrate XRP apps in multiple programming languages, and it also includes a variety of new tools for working on both XRP and Ripple's ILP, which stands for Interledger Protocol. XPring is targeting crypto and non-crypto developers alike with the platform, and XPring's Senior Vice President Ethan Beard told CoinDesk. XPring SDK will allow you and the developers to use the XRP ledger simply in any programming language you want, Beard said, adding, "What takes a developer today 100 lines of code to do a transaction on the XRP ledger, using XPring SDK cuts it down by 80%, so that would only take like 20 lines of code if we take it literally. XPring has already been built on open source protocols, but this platform would function like Amazon Web Services, Beard said. Developers could download the code and run it themselves, or now they can go to XPring and plug into the service. Beard envisions the platform being used to enable micropayments in industries like media and gaming, and ideally, we think the XPring platform can work for any type of payment, he said. The platform is a new vertical for XPring, which has been an investment arm of Ripple. Building a network of companies and use cases around XRP for a little over a year, the initiative is aimed at investing in and growing a developer base around the crypto. While blockchain and cryptocurrency can be transformative for how payments work, what we've learned in the last year is that working with these new technologies is quite difficult as well, Beard said. That creates a barrier for developers to adopt these technologies, and to kind of point you guys in the direction of what he means with this, it is that right now, or I guess a little bit before this, we should say, it could be quite difficult for developers, and I know because I've worked with developers before, to integrate it all, or to kind of get started, right? If you've gotten a traditional developer, he most likely has no idea how to start with blockchain, or maybe he has an idea, but it takes him a severe amount longer to start working or to get things done than the traditional way. And that's why it discourages a lot of developers to start working or to make the switch or to even, try, because they're like, it's foreign, there's not as much help, there's not as many guides if you need any help, there's not as many, this, that. There's so many bad sides to getting started. The only good upside is maybe that you could really make a breakthrough, in the sense of you have a very big likelihood of making something that has never been made before if you're working with cryptocurrency rather than with traditional finance, I would say, because you have a pretty high chance that what you try to make has never been made before if you're doing it in crypto. But yeah, it creates now a barrier for developers to adopt these technologies, but now they're trying to ease that up. As a part of the announcement, XPring is also announcing these payment processors BitPay, Mobile Wallet, BRD, and digital custody provider Anchorage are all adding XRP to their offerings. With BitPay on board, the company anticipates users being able to use XRP for everyday purchases at thousands of merchants, including Microsoft and AT&T. Furthermore, Chain Analysis is adding the XP Ledger to its blockchain analytics product. That's pretty amazing, right? That's pretty amazing. So yeah, enough said about that, about XPring and their developments right now. Let's move over a little bit. Crypto market update. Focus on Bitcoin, XRP, Chainlink, and Cosmos. So why are they saying this? What's so special about them? Well, actually, I did not really come to a very big conclusion about why exactly these coins, but they do give us a little bit of a rundown on why XRP is so good right now. They give us a little bit of the same analysis around the price, although the XRP price is currently at 24.8 cents, i.e. lower than the start of the day when it was right around 25.3 cents. It is still up 0.73% in the past 24 hours, which I don't think is really any significance whatsoever. Then they state the same exact story about XPring and how they're launching crypto fiat payments that integrate into any app. Of course, you can see it here a little bit. And then they also said XPring also announced that it has entered into strategic partnership with crypto payment processing BitPay, as a result of which two things will happen. BitPay will be supporting XRP natively, which will allow merchants that are customers of BitPay to accept XRP as a form of payment by the end of the year. BitPay Wallet will support XRP, and BitPay Wallet will integrate with the new XPring developer platform. $322 million. How the SEC should settle with Ripple Labs over XRP. This is an opinion, so please take this with a grain of salt, as this is said to be someone's opinion, and it might be completely the opposite of what you're thinking. Ripple may face more jeopardy than Block 1. We think $322 million should do the trick. Now, the US SEC handed out a $24 million slap on the wrist for Block 1 for allegedly selling unregistered securities in its $4 billion ICO, begging the question, what would be an appropriate settlement for Ripple Labs, which conducted an ongoing ICO, as Ripple releases of XRP has been labeled in an ongoing California lawsuit. The defendants have strongly denied the allegations. Well, the SEC's use of the 1946 Howey test are of course what determines whether it, fits or not, if it is security, and its decision to whack a 0.6% penalty on Black 1 for the EOS ICO in a settlement with a Hong Kong-based company that specifically sought to exclude Americans from investing and which was not required to admit or deny guilt or wrongdoing is almost unfathomable. Did Block 1 do something wrong or not? If so, why the tiny penalty? If not, why levy a penalty at all? Was their infraction minor? In which case, is Howey not binary as we had previously thought? And rather than offer any guidance, clarity, or even serious rationale for their actions, the SEC had The SEC has once action clouded the crypto skies, so what is any project supposed to infer from this decision? And what I think they mean with this case here is that does Howey have like different degrees in the sense of like, are they guilty but not completely? Or, like in normal cases, Howey test is like a yes or no, like a 1 or a 0 in binary sense. And, if it follows, it gets to 1, for example. If it does not follow, it gets to 0, right? You're either guilty or you're not guilty, either security or not a security. And in this case, they only gave a 0.6% penalty, which is relatively low for if they did something completely illegal, but relatively high for if they did nothing wrong, right? So that's kind of what they're questioning. Hypothetically speaking, a Ripple settlement. And now they're going to go into exactly why or what they think about this all. And I know it's a little bit of a long article, but I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a rundown on what exactly they're saying, is because you can't read everything. So there could, of course, be a Ripple settlement, right? Why would that be? Well, of course, because we've had a lot of different talks about whether or not Ripple or XRP is a security. I'm almost mistaken myself now. But to give you guys a little bit of run back about why it is so questionable and why it's so strange, Turnkey Jet received such a... wait, I didn't explain what the letter is. The SEC seems to have two methods by which it can provide assurances to a jittery token industry. One is through a settlement process, as EOS enjoyed, and the other is through a non-action letter process, which affords a company confidence that the regulator will not take enforcement action against it. So, as an example, Turnkey Jet received such a letter in April, meaning it could proceed with its crowd sale provided its tokens were only used to help people book seats on private jets. If the company remains in compliance with those stipulations, notwithstanding whatever promises it made or the manner in which it conducted its public sale, it would not be pursued by the commission. That's pretty cool, right? But Ripple Labs has no such letter to our knowledge, and either to my knowledge, I've never seen or anybody talk about that, so, I don't really think they do have it. Ripple is an unabashedly American company. Its website is accessible in the United States. In fact, located in under control, blah, 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 blah. They are in San Francisco, right? We of course know that. And Ripple.com/XRP and a Google search for XRP only shows the Coinbase website above Ripple's site. Breakout was registered in the Cayman Islands and was headquartered in Hong Kong. Although it has a U.S. presence, investing in its ICO was forbidden for Americans, yet according to the SEC, some did anyway. The SEC described Breakout as selling a portion of its tokens to U.S. investors. However, Breakout also avoided promising returns to investors and other triggered the regulator warns against. Now, calculating the 0.6% penalty from the Howey test on Ripple, right? And that depends on exactly when you're going to be taking it. But they're saying here that for the block, it suggests that Ripple Labs has only raised $1.14 billion since Q4 of 2016. And EOS's market cap is currently at $2.76 billion, but XRP is at $10.8 billion based on the current circulating supply. And since the majority of the non-circulating supply is locked in escrow from Ripple Labs, we will generously consider that their raise includes the remainder of that supply at the current price. In other words, approximately 49 billion XRP, valued at around $12.3 billion. In total, therefore, we can assume that Ripple Labs benefit from previous XRP sales, combined with future sales at the current price, comes to about $13.44 billion as well. I mean, that's pretty obvious. That's not that crazy. Here's an argument against the penalty. Well, we of course know why they should not be getting a penalty, because of course they're not really a security, and Ripple claims for that, and we are all claiming for that. But what if, right? And then there's, of course, the whole story, and it keeps going on. I know, guys, but this is always quite important. Again, the whole result is here if you guys want to skip through it, but I want to give you guys a little bit of a build-up above why it is so important and why it's so crazy. But right, so a paragon of virtue. What if the class action prevails? And now there's two potential outcomes here. Ripple successfully grandfathers in its ICO, arguing that it was conducted before the day AO warning, in which penalty is 0. That's possible. Ripple is found to be conducting an ongoing ICO as it continues to release XRP tokens to retail investors through its billion-a-month escrow supply, in which case, game over. And when I say game over, we really mean game over. One thing that could also happen is that they're saying, all right, this has nothing to do with securities at all, right? And that would actually fall into case number 1. It's actually kind of a binary situation once more. It either gets punished really hard or it gets nothing done, right? And then we're not talking about the 0.6%, which could be happening, but I'm thinking even a higher penalty, even a higher blame. Returning 43 billion XRP tokens to Ripple Labs, over $10 billion at current prices. Yeah, that's a very big game over. Very big oof if they really get that done. Brad, don't make any too late. Ripple Labs also has a language problem. Last month, Breakout downplayed Bitcoin's utility as a payment solution, especially versus XRP. He told CNN, the long-term value of any digital asset is going to be derived from the utility it delivers. I actually do not think this was a wording mistake whatsoever. This is not a language problem. What I actually think he says here, as any investor or any sane person would say, is that the value of an asset can be derived from the utility it delivers, right? Value is based upon value. The value it drives, or the value it gives in terms of utility, is the value it should receive in terms of monetary value. Is that not really the most logical thing anybody in the world could ever say? If you're not doing anything, if you have nothing, you're worth nothing. If you're doing a lot, you're worth more. I think that's the most logical thing ever. Anybody could have said that. It's not special for the CEO of a digital asset to be saying that, as he's just saying utility could increase the price, or at least that's what he expects, right? The long-term value of an addition is going to be derived. It's a pretty common statement, I would say. But in this case, they say the implication here is that XP has utility, even though he does not say that in the literal sense right here. From this quote, it does not actually talk about XRP specifically. He talks about digital assets, of which there are a bunch, right? He could have also said a company's long-term value can be derived from the utility it delivers. I mean, is that really crazy? Would that sound strange to you in your ears? At least in mine, it does not. And I think that that should not be punished. You know, anybody should not take this as a quote specifically for XRP. Even though he might mean it that way, we should not be seeing it that way, as he did not do it. Garlinghouse specifically says that utility drives value. Therefore, XRP should expect it to grow in value, and this is dangerously close to what the SEC should conceivably regard as constituting a promise of capital growth. Oh, come on. Alright, not to mention, current guidelines suggest that creating tokens for the express purpose of building a network is also a major no-no. Well, that is pretty obvious. That is not too crazy, I would say. Crypto Briefing has previously given a good deal of thought to the Satoshi test, a modern interpretation of Howey test that we believe illustrates that Ripple Labs has engaged in systematic attempt to reorient its business model to escape classification as a security. As we often suggest, Preston Byron, analyst of the subject, is currently what we consider definitive. So again, let's imagine two scenarios. If Ripple Labs is willing to settle with the SEC on similar terms to those apparently negotiated by EOS, 0.6% of the funds raised, the Claytonian basis, we might suggest that doubling that fine for clearly selling to you as investors, and then doubling again for suggesting of value appreciation will result in about a 2.4% fine based on the amount raised. Potential fine here is $13.44 billion, which they said was the value right now, or in the future I would say, times 2.4%, equaling $322 million as a fine. Since Ripple has been unlocking a billion tokens a month recently, awarding themselves around $8.5 million per day, that fine might take almost 38 days to pay off. If you say it like that though, right, he's saying awarding themselves around $8 million a day. If you say it like that, it does seem kind of strange, right? Again, I'm never talking about forking or never really against Ripple or XRP, but if you do say it like this, they're awarding themselves $8.5 million a day from our money. That sounds a little bit crazy, all right? And that does seem a little bit odd. How I see it, though, a little bit differently, is the tokens they're unlocking every single month are for XRP, are for the XRP ecosystem, and so I don't really see it as an issue, but if you say it like that, yeah. And while Clayton's brain is a difficult one to understand, we believe Ripple has ruffled some of the feathers that tickle it. Don't be an American company. Don't sell tokens to Americans. Don't make price promises, and stop selling tokens after the DAO report. Hopefully, this is a helpful launching pad for Jay Clayton to begin forming a settlement with Ripple, assuming it hasn't already been handled by the former SEC chair the company hired to defend themselves. Well, I'm hoping it does not, because this would actually be quite a difficult thing to grasp, or quite a difficult thing to handle for all of us, as it would mean some pretty hefty fines for Ripple, the company, would be pretty negative for all of us. Ripple Spring releases technology to bring XP to the internet. Well, we've already said that before. Here's just a little bit of a longer explanation of what exactly is going on and why this is so amazing, but it's pretty obvious to see what's been happening. Kind of a thing they're giving you as well as how good Spring has been for Ripple. That's pretty obvious to all of us, though. Here they take more of an approach towards AWS, which was a minor mention for all of us, but I don't think it's that important to discuss in broad details. We know the ins and outs of it already. Highly criticized Ripple partners with much malignant BitPay. Yep, we already know all of that. Ripple has announced a strategic partnership with BitPay as a new phase of an expansion plan for its ecosystem. Ripple price hesitates, but further gains seem likely. Ripple price corrected lower recently and tested 24.5 support area against the US dollar. The price is currently climbing higher and is trading nicely above the 25-cent level, and there is a key bullish trendline forming with support near 24.80 on the hourly chart of XPDUSD. The price is likely to continue higher, and it might soon test the 26.2 or 26.5 resistance area. Ripple price is slowly rebounding above 25 cents against the US dollar, and while Bitcoin is consolidating, XP price is likely to retest the recent resistance area near 26.2 cents. What we're going to be seeing, guys, I'm pretty excited for all of that. Ripple undergoes major rebrand, drops Rapid, XVIA, and Xcurrent. Yeah. Huh. That's a heavy article to get, right? So we're going to get into this more into another video that I'm going to be popping out later today. I have a couple of things that I really want to say about that, so that's why I'm going to keep that for the end. Ripple-backed web monetization platform Coil now supports XRP. Well, we already saw that they supported it, but here they have a little bit of a different look on all of that. Web monetization platform Coil now supports XRP payments in real time thanks to a partnership with payment gateway and XP Ledger wallet provider GateHub. A news release on October 1st revealed that Coil users can now use GateHub to receive funds in XRP and convert them into euros, US dollars, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. So this means real-time micropayments for content creators. Yay! Well, we already knew that Coil was the platform for this. And here they're saying Coil is a platform that provides an alternative method for creators to monetize their content online. As subscribing fans consume content, the platform uses an open API called Web Monetizations to stream micropayments to creators instantaneously. The API is built on the ILP created by Stephen Thomas, Coil CEO and former Ripple Lab CTO. He's now also, of course, from XPring. And as Cointelegraph reported on August 15th, Ripple's investment arm XPring also participated in Coil's $4 million seeding round and provided $1 billion XP grant to the platform this August, worth roughly $265 million. Coil supports monetization for content creators across literary writing, journalism, music, photography, and podcasts, charging content consumers a $5 a month per subscription fee to access the site. And now this is a push for decentralized content monetization because, of course, people can now get money with this, all right? They could have already done it before, but now they got a little bit of a push, I'm assuming. I don't really know exactly what it changes or what it opens up, because to me, nothing has been changed, but I saw some people comment this, so. A push for decentralized content monetization. On September 17th, Coil and open source browser Mozilla teamed up with Creative Commons, a non-profit that provides free licenses for creators, to establish a $100 million grant program for web monetization. Well, I'm actually looking for that free license then. Am I a creator? Should I see myself as a creator? I guess so. Again, some people think, Ripple's sponsoring me mad. I've seen some people say, like, why are you shilling XRP so much? Ripple must be giving you money. If they were, right, I don't think I would ever skip another day. Because if it really gives money, then why would I skip it, right? You guys are acting like I'm just doing this for fun, all right? It's not because of any monetary incentivization at all, because what it might earn, what you think, is definitely not worth it for me. I just did this because I really do enjoy talking about cryptocurrency with you guys. I do enjoy making these videos. I do enjoy talking about. I do also enjoy kind of having a presence here. I do like being part of the whole community type of thing. If I were not, it's always kind of a superficial thing to me. And now I'm in the middle. I'm engaged. I'm in. Otherwise, we'd kind of just skip it and just look at the price and not really look at these insights. And now it's also a learning process for me, so it's amazing. The program offers a series of 1,000 to 100,000 grants to developers and creators who support web monetization, with a plan to reserve the lion's share of the funds for openly licensed software and content. Also in September, Ripple XPring has acquired payment platform Logos Network to develop decentralized financial products and applications. Ethereum, XRP, Litecoin, and other large-cap altcoins poised for 20% breakout. Well, this is, of course, where it becomes interesting. Crypto analyst, large cap altcoin index shows potential 20% breakout. That is amazing. Would that not be good? If the assets among the top 10 cryptocurrencies by market cap are able to hold support at current levels, they may be ready for as much as a 20% breakout to the upside as sell pressure wanes. Wow. 20%. Just thinking about that. You have $1 right now, it's going to go to $1.20. You have $100, going to go to 120. You have 100,000, going to go to 120,000, just a blink of an eye, possibly. Well, if the support continues to hold, according to one crypto analyst, it could result in a 20% breakout to the upside, should a custom index of large cap altcoins push through resistance. CryptoRand says, big caps index. They keep pushing against local horizontal resistance while holding on uptrend support. A breakout would push a potential 20% plus on all of them. Let's quickly check out CryptoRand's analysis here. If he goes zoom in a little bit. All right. What does he say once more? Let's see. Big cap index, they keep pushing against the local horizontal resistance, right? While holding an uptrend support, right? A breakout would push a potential 20% return on them. All right. So this is Binance's Ethereum to BTC and everything. It's kind of a, I guess a a big caps index is what they're talking about here. It's everything at the top that you see here. And what he suggests and what he says here is that we've been holding this for quite a while. That's what he says at the top here. They keep pushing against the local horizontal resistance. This is here the local horizontal resistance. We keep pushing in. We do not break above it, or we do not close above. We have broken. We do not close above it, but we do keep holding horizontal. What is the name for that? Uptrend support. Uptrend. I'm trying to diagonal. That's what I wanted to say. Diagonal was the word. We are holding up diagonal / uptrend support. Actually, he can draw two different lines here that we're both holding, and in this case, what he suggests for is another break towards the upside, 20% higher to the new zone, which is 20% increase. I mean, it's not that crazy. In this case, Alex says, have an alt index now, CryptoRand. Good liquidity too. Can also chart this on TradingView under alt perp. And CryptoRand says, we'll take a look. I mean, that's pretty awesome if some people are doing this all, because it gives you some new insights which you normally don't look at. Me personally, I don't think I've ever looked at a big cap index, so that's pretty cool. And I mean, 20% here, if it could happen like that, it's pretty gnarly thing to think about, because there's a lot of money that you're talking about then. Ripple's high speed and low cost approved by Swift, media reports. This is also something that we're going to get into later in another video, guys. That was it for today's content. 31 minutes. I have not done a video this long in a very long while, but I definitely think it was due for yet another update. I've not been talking about crypto for a long while here. Not too many updates, but going to be pushing out a lot of videos soon. Going to be pushing out a lot of videos today. And I also want to do some more live streams. Maybe 1 live stream a week, maybe 7 live streams a week. I don't know. You guys suggest when I should be live streaming, what the best time is for you. Comment it down below, because I really would like to know. I'll see you guys again in another crypto video, guys. Take care, enjoy, and make sure you check out all the links in the description below. And also make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're watching this far. This was not financial advice, everybody. This was just for entertainment purposes only, but I definitely enjoyed your presence. See you again in another cryptocurrency video later today.